You grow up near the ocean, never once imagining the world will call you a god, but something inside you always knew. This town wasn't the whole story. You had nothing extraordinary, except the fire. 3 brothers. That's where you learned to fight, to push, to never back down. School couldn't hold you. Your mind was always somewhere else. Then you saw it, a man on a screen, larger than life, and something shifted. You started practicing alone. No teacher, no audience, just you and the mirror. When you said you wanted to act, the room went quiet in a very specific way, but nobody could stop what was already growing inside you. Your first stage. Nothing glamorous, but it felt like everything. The moment you stepped into that light, something ancient woke up in you. You knew then this was it. This was the only thing. You moved to Melbourne alone, 18 years old, 1 bag, 0 guarantees. Your apartment cost almost everything you earned, but you weren't going home. Every audition room looked the same, and everyone in it looked like you. You'd give everything in that room, and they'd barely look up. Rejection doesn't arrive dramatically, it arrives quietly. That's what makes it brutal. You worked jobs that made you invisible, to fund the dream of being seen. The exhaustion was real, but stopping never felt like an option. Sometimes you could feel yourself getting better, even when nothing showed for it yet. Then came Home and Away. Small screen, small role, but it was real. It counted. On that set, you stopped feeling like a dreamer. You started feeling like an actor. You called home, your mom cried, the good kind. But momentum is fragile, and the silence always comes back. You bought a one-way ticket to Los Angeles, no job, no agent, no plan. Los Angeles doesn't care who you are. It's too busy making legends and breaking them. The glamour of Hollywood looks nothing like the movies. At first, they looked at your resume like it had let them down personally. Hollywood auditions were the same as Melbourne ones, just with better lighting and higher stakes. Your brother was booking roles. You celebrated him. You meant it. The quiet after was harder. There were weeks you counted every dollar, but you never booked a flight home. You trained every day, not for a role, just to be ready when the role arrived. Then an email arrived. 4 letters, THOR, and your whole body understood before your mind did. This wasn't just an audition. This was the moment you'd been building toward without knowing it. You walked into that building as an unknown Australian actor. What walked out was different. In that room, something primal came out of you, something you didn't know you had. They called on a Tuesday. You didn't speak for 30 seconds. You just breathed. Your dad didn't say much. He didn't need to. You heard everything in the silence. To play a god, you had to rebuild your body from the ground up. You ate, you slept, you lifted, you repeated. For months, the body changed fast. The mind had to work harder to keep up. The first time you walked on set as Thor, the crew went quiet. You felt it before you understood it. You weren't acting, you were channeling something bigger than the character. Between takes, you were still just you. That was the most important thing to hold on to. The premiere was a wall of noise and light. Nothing prepares you for that. The numbers didn't feel real. None of it felt real yet. After the noise, always silence. And in that silence, you had to figure out who you were now. Fame asks you the same questions on a loop. You learned to answer without losing yourself. Then came the Avengers. A room full of icons. And somehow, you were one of them. The people you'd watched on screens as a kid were now calling you by your first name. Your life became a series of airports, sets, and hotel rooms. Beautiful and disorienting. The fans showed you something you weren't ready for. How much a character could mean to a person. One boy in a hospital ward. Thor costume on, eyes like the whole world just made sense. You never forgot that face. You didn't want to be Thor forever. You wanted to be an actor who happened to play Thor. Rush showed you what you were capable of when the armor came off. When critics noticed the actor and not just the body, that mattered more than any box office number. Fame makes you a brand whether you want it to or not. The question is, who controls the brand? You learn the business, because talent Without knowledge is just luck waiting to run out. The cameras never stopped. You learned to move through the world differently. Every massive production had these moments. Just you, just silence, just the question of whether you still loved it. Success has a weight nobody warns you about. It presses down at 3 a.m. You missed calls you can never get back. That's the part the magazines don't cover. You'd come home and everything was the same and everything was different. And that was your fault and your sacrifice simultaneously. Nothing on any screen or stage or red carpet felt like that. Nothing. Success doesn't protect you from doubt. Sometimes it amplifies it. You used the gym to process what you couldn't say out loud. That worked until it didn't. Even at the top, you still lost roles. And each loss still stung. That surprised you. Then Ragnarok happened, and you finally got to show them Thor could laugh. Taika gave you permission to be fully yourself inside the character. That changed everything. When the audience laughed in all the right places, you felt a door open that had been locked for years. Questions about the future used to have easy answers. Then they didn't anymore. Wakanda, that entrance, even you felt it when you watched it back. Something immense. Home was never LA or London. It was wherever they were. You fought hard for ordinary mornings. They were worth more than any premiere. Your wife saw the parts of you the world didn't. She was always honest about what she saw. You started saying no to the right things. That was harder than any physical training. You went back to the ocean, not to escape, to remember. The ocean didn't care about Thor, and that was exactly what you needed. You channeled the discipline into something that could help other people, that felt purposeful. Central wasn't about staying relevant, it was about staying meaningful. You remembered being that person, so you never walked past them. You talked about the hard parts, because someone out there needed to hear that even gods struggle. Then, the doctors told you something that reordered every priority you had. Time stopped being abstract. It became the most valuable thing you owned. You played Thor, lost and soft on purpose, because strength that never bends isn't strength. You started thinking about what you wanted to leave behind. Not just roles, stories. You stopped running from things. You started running toward them. You sat in that audience and understood every parent who'd ever watched you. Your brothers kept you honest. They always had. You never let go of that. The platform you'd built, you wanted to use it for something that outlasted the films. You stopped training to look like a god. You started training to feel like yourself for as long as possible. Success that doesn't open doors for others is just ego with good lighting. You learned that the best moments don't have cameras. They don't need them. Peace wasn't something you found, it was something you chose. Every day, you never stopped being hungry. You just got smarter about what you were hungry for. Every new role was a question you asked yourself. And the answer always taught you something. You watched old footage of yourself sometimes. The gap between that boy and this man was everything. You went back to where you grew up. The town looked smaller. You had grown. Everything you became started in a room this size, with a mirror and a belief nobody else could see yet. The greatest achievement wasn't the films. It was keeping this intact. Thor will outlast you. The character will belong to other people eventually, and that's exactly how it should be. Your own child plays Thor in the backyard. The circle of it is almost too much. You kept a record of the real journey, not for anyone else, just so you wouldn't forget. Your father never said he was proud in a big dramatic way. He showed it differently. You only understood that later. The most radical thing you did was decide that ordinary was extraordinary. You taught your kids to look up, because someone once taught you that the horizon was just the beginning. You planted something that grew without you. That's the real definition of impact. You reached people you'll never meet, changed mornings you'll never witness. That was enough. The torch passes. That's not an ending. That's the whole point. You stopped racing the clock. You started moving with it. The question used to be easy. The real answer took years to find. These hands built everything. And the most important things they ever held were small and soft and called you Dad. You never stopped being a student. That was always the secret. Legacy is just what people call the ripples after you've thrown the stone. You only control the throw. The ocean is exactly the same as when you were a boy. It's one of the few things that is you chose her, she chose you, everything else was built on top of that. The career was never the point. It was always the life around it. You sat by the ocean again, and for the first time, you weren't waiting for something, you were just here. From the outside, they saw a god. From the inside, you were always just a boy from Phillip Island who refused to stop. The world called you a god. You knew the truth. You were just a man who showed up every single day until it mattered